Happy Friday, flosstube. Hello, crafty friends. How's everybody doing today? My name is Caroline. Welcome back for a workshop update. I've got a Halloween spooky update for you today. A few new things in the shop, a few new charts, a new bag and floss set, and I just thought I would give you a little close-up of what we've got going on for the spooky time of year. So I'm going to move the camera. I've kept it out of the frame because look at this. Ta-da! Isn't that great? This is a chart by my friend Shell McPhee. She is a new designer. You can find her as Sterling Stitches, and you can find her on Instagram as Sterling Stitches, as well as all the other information about her I will put in the description box below in case you'd like to check out the other things that she's done. If you were at Stitch North in April of this past year, you may have also met Shell. Shell's a very good friend, and she designed this with some Leo&Roxy floss, and I just loved it, and I thought it was the perfect addition for Evertote. And I'm so proud to be able to offer Michelle's chart for sale. So this is the Kitchen Witch, and yeah, isn't that great? Yeah. So the main floss in the design that Shell used is charcoal. This is this was some fabric that Shell had in her stash that she stitched it on. So I've got a couple of ideas for fabric, and I'll just talk about those in a minute. The chart pack, we have this available as a PDF only, but we also have a floss pack with it, which is chalkboard, grunge, smoke, and silver birch. Now I'm gonna have popped up a photo of the listing that we've got in the shop here. The three colors other than chalkboard are found in the pot. So grunge, smoke, and silver birch. And they really do, I think they add quite a bit. But of course, you can always just use floss in your stash if you'd like to just get the PDF and stitch this with threads that are in your stash. Isn't that great? I love her border. The details in this. I mean, look at the brooms. That's really well done. I love the pot. Really clever shading in there. Great design, Shell. I love it. So, Kitchen Witch by Sterling Stitches, now available in the shop as PDF and floss pack. So I've got some linen here. This was I've got some 28 count and some 32 count only in this stack here. So you can see that's what I've got available. And this was, I had asked Carrie to create a fabric. Remember I was selling the Witch on that sort of one-of-a-kind yellow. I wanted her to play around with some yellows a little bit to see what we could come up with. And this is what she came up with. I don't have this loaded into the shop yet. It only just arrived a couple of days ago, and Matt ran it through the presser just yesterday, I think. So we don't have it in the shop yet, but I think this would be an absolutely perfect fabric for the the Kitchen Witch chart. You only need about 1/6 of a yard. Let's see, the stitch count on Kitchen Witch is 157 by 138. So you need slightly more than an 1/8 of a yard, but you don't need quite a 1/4 yard. So because this isn't listed in the shop yet and you'd like a piece of it, we can sell it as 1/6 of a yard, which would be the perfect size for Michelle's chart. But you just have to send us an email if you want it, because it won't be listed in the shop until next week. So again, I have 28 count and I have 32 count. and it's all very, very unique. Some has more modeling, some has less, some has the modeling on different parts of the yard than others. It's really, the way the fabric comes out of the dye pot is so cool. You never know what you're gonna get. It's really cool. Okay, so that is Kitchen Witch. Next up, we have another design by another Michelle. I do not have the chart in front of me because, again, this is only a PDF, and Michelle Bendy has the shop model at her house. So I don't have the shop model, but I will insert a photo here of her chart. This is the Haunted Mansion. This was a new expo release from Michelle Bendy, BendyStitchy, Bendy Design, and she did both a DMC version that she released at Expo, and then she also did a Leo&Roxy Flossco conversion as well. And so she stitched up the model in the Leo&Roxy floss, and then she sent us the list, and we have it available in the shop along with Michelle's PDF. So I thought you might like to see the floss because it's such a great chart, and look at those colors. Isn't that cool? This is so fun, this one. This is Limelight, and it's just this really fun variegation in there. Really cool. Yeah, very cool. So you can see an entire list of the floss pack for this chart on the website. I'll have links to everything down in the description box below. I pulled a couple of fabrics that I thought were absolutely ideal for this chart. In particular, I have this 16 count Aida. This is a one-of-a-kind Aida that I brought back in from Carrie in August. So I think it's just called August 2022 one-of-a-kind #1. I will put a link in the drop-down box below that will take you right there. There is also a link in the Haunted Mansion listing that will take you directly to this this Aida. I only have it available in quarter cuts. So this chart will fit on a 1/6 of a yard, but I only have this one-of-a-kind available in quarter yard cuts, and I think I only have 10 pieces left. So it's kind of a dark gray with a light, you know, not light purple, but a sort of purple undertone to it. And I think it fits those flosses really well. So it is a 16 count. I only have it in 16 count. The other Aida, if you like a slightly lighter option that I thought also looked quite nice with this floss pack is, whoops, got a thread there. I don't want to pull that too hard. There we go. Okay. I want to put it here. Leave Michelle's model on top. This is Catnap. And so I had to trim that thread because that was going to drive me mad. I have some 18 count and 16 count Catnap, which is a lighter gray. But again, I think this floss set really is set off nicely. Silver Dollar is still different enough from that fabric that it would show up nicely. So again, that's Catnap, and the other one was the one-of-a-kind from August. I do have 18 count in Catnap, so it's 16 and 18. Okay, so that takes care of showing you Michelle Bendy's floss. Now we've got a new bag in the shop, and it's just a little guy. We had some other Halloween project bags, but frankly, a lot of them, I only had 1 or 2 of a kind, and they sort of sold out really quickly. So I don't have many other project bags to show you. There are still a few. There's some of the Black Cat with the sort of Harvest Moon. There's still a few of those left. Those were the project bags I had in the shop last year with the collaboration with ParkHopperBart. You may remember his chart that I am still working on. This is the Black Cats and Spooky Bats. We still have the PDF in the shop. We still have floss packs in the shop for that. And we still have just a couple of the Black Cat bags left, but only in wedge tote and the large flat. We sold out of the medium flats last year, so that's all we have left in those. But we thought it would be fun. The Black Cats and Spooky Bats, the bag collaboration last year, used these two fabrics. This sort of brocade print, and then, surprise, there's bats on the inside. Isn't that fun? So this is just a small, it's just a small bag. I find this size, this is my favorite. I love this size. You can fit an 8-inch, you can fit an 8-inch square Q-snap. You can fit a 6-inch square Q-snap. You can fit just a small project if you're a stitch in hand sort of person and you want to take your project to work back and forth. It's just a really handy size. So I've got 10 sets left, and that's it. That's all of the bat fabric that we had left, and it's all gone. And then we paired it with this new floss pack. These flosses aren't new, but we've never put them together in a set before. So we thought it would be fun to do a new Halloween set this year. And the surprise is that if you purchase either just the floss pack or the bag set with the floss pack, you're gonna get a little surprise PDF along with your purchase. And it's from Hannah. So that's all I'm gonna say about the surprise. But even if you just buy the floss pack, you'll get the surprise as well. So I'll just quickly show you the flosses. This is charcoal, which is a richer, darker black than chalkboard. Then we've got Back to the Fuchsia, one of my favorites. Flubber. Flubber was a Floss Club release a number of months back that's now in the regular collection. And Pumpkin Up the Jam. This is one of our original Leo&Roxy Floss Co. oranges. We've had this run around for a while, and we had it with a different set last year with a purple. But here's our updated 2022 Halloween color collection. Here's a nice close-up of all the colors together. Show you the black on top of a lighter background. Love that. Beautiful. Okay, so that was the new project bag that's tucked in the shop. Now, Nevermore. Nevermore is, it's not Halloween-y, but we all can agree, I think, that it's spooky and belongs at this time of year. It's, oh, I love this chart. Okay, so I spoke briefly about my Nevermore floss conversion that I'm doing on Tuesday's video. And I am going to be doing short videos on this channel about the Nevermore conversion that I'm working on along the way with my progress. I left the cover photo in the other room. Hang on. Okay, here we go. So here you can see the entire design. I do not have the chart. I am not carrying the chart, and I probably won't be bringing in the chart. This is an older design from Lila's studio, and many people already have this in their stash. And so in order for me to purchase a quantity of one chart and bring it into the shop, when frankly a lot of you already own it, I probably wouldn't sell very many, and they would just, you know, sort of hang around in my inventory. So instead, you can go directly to Lila Studio's website. It's www.lilastudio.net, and she actually has this chart available as both a PDF and a physical copy. You can order it directly from her website and she will send it to you. And in fact, she has a discount code available for the rest of this year. So if you would like to stitch Nevermore and you don't own the chart, I'm going to recommend that you head over directly to the designer's website and purchase it from her. So we have floss and linen in the shop in the same variation isn't the right word. You know the word I'm trying to reach for here. my version of it anyways. We'll go with that. So the linen is a dirty porcelain. That's what it's called. It's not dirty itself. We've just named it Dirty Porcelain. And it's a slightly darker, richer shade than the lighter porcelain. It was actually an oops that was supposed to be porcelain, and it was just so gorgeous. As soon as I saw it, I knew what I wanted to stitch on it. So I only think I started with 5 yards, and I only have 40 count. And so I pulled the yardage from the regular linen page, and we have tucked the Dirty Porcelain entirely into the Nevermore listing. I did have some emails asking me, I'm looking for Dirty Porcelain and I can't find it. Where is it? That's because if you're looking for it, you'll find it if you look for the photo of the chart and you go in there, there's a couple of options for you. And one of them is the floss pack only, and the other one is the floss and linen package together. And again, only 40 count, and the entire design fits on a wide 1/8. So it's not a massive design. All you need is a wide 1/8, and then that entire design will fit on there. Okay, so let me tell you about the flosses, because we loved this set so much. Now I have some extra floss in here. You're gonna see I've got Falu Red in there. Falu Red doesn't belong. This is my project floss ring, and I was also working on my Birds from Bernard's books the other night, and that uses Falu Red. So it's just these flosses here. And where's Wednesday? Hiding down in there. There. So this is the collection of flosses for Nevermore. But see how these sort of fall colors are really prevalent at the top here? This design is actually going to be much more heavily weighted with those 3 colors. So Wednesday in the middle, that red, Vampish, which is the sort of black purple, and then this plum shadow here. Yeah, I love plum shadow. The reason we discontinued Fog is because Fog and Plum Shadow were really similar, and when we would get in new dye lots, we would be thinking, is this Plum Shadow or is this Fog? They were really, really similar, even though the recipes were different. So that's why Fog is discontinued, but they are similar if you already have Fog in your stash. So, but yeah, I mean, these other colors are gorgeous, right? But they're not going to be playing a starring role in this design. It's mostly going to be Vampish, Plum Shadow, and that dark, deep red, black called Wednesday. So the stitching that I have done, of course, looks very autumnal, because I've stitched the part where most of those colors, where I wanted them, where they come into play. So I'm gonna just bring you down a little bit here. There we go. I followed Lila's sort of ideas of the alternating fall colors in the band there, and of course we've got some fall leaves on the stem. Anything like the crow, the gravestones, those are all going to be Vampish. I've also incorporated some Vampish into my border here. Whoops. Tippy. And then Plum Shadow is the entire bottom band. Okay, so I'm going to walk you through which colors I'm using where, but I need to get set up a little bit more carefully here so that you can see it a bit better. Okay, so because there will not be a floss conversion list coming with the pack, because I am not following the symbols in Lila's design. I've just gone completely my own way with, you know, sort of using her chart as tremendous inspiration. So colors as follows. The bottom outlining band borders are Vampish. The straight lines. Straight line is Vampish. Inside bottom border is Plum Shadow. The Quaker motifs in the next band are Wednesday, except for the individual stitches and the straight line stitching that makes up the triangles. I'm inserting Vampish in there. I'll show you my stitching in just a minute. This is Wednesday. I've alternated the floss colors in the band there as well as the leaves. All of the letters and the crow are Vampish. I'm using Plum Shadow in these two motifs here. I'm using Wednesday in this motif. The fence structure and the grass and the tree are all going to be Plum Shadow. Tombstones will be Vampish. We've got Haystack for the moon and the boxes around the letters. These Quaker snowflakes, I'm just going to pick whatever color I feel like from the pack when I want to stitch those. I'm going to choose those at the end. I am going to stitch this motif in Wednesday. This motif, I'm going to use two colors. I am going to stitch this with Wednesday and Plum Shadow. And then this band in here is also going to be Plum Shadow. Moving up into, I think that I might do this with that Annie color, which is this one. I might insert some Annie in the corners here, and then Vampish again for those straight lines of the triangle. And then Wednesday will fill in the Quaker motifs and Vampish as the straight top line. So what do you think? There's enough floss in the floss pack to be a little bit creative as you go. So if you don't like how I've done a two color option here, you can make it whatever you want. Or if you don't like Annie in those corners, you could choose a different floss. So that is where I'm headed with it. And you can see, ooh, the camera tripod's just on my stitching here. Oh, there we go. There's where we're at so far. So you can see Vampish, Plum Shadow, there's Wednesday. Now I haven't filled in the single stitches in the corner here, but you can see how I've used Vampish on the straight lines, and then Wednesday we'll be filling in the rest of the Quaker motifs. There's the flag border. This is Charlie Brown, Haystack, and Annie. And then they are outlined with Vampish. I used Annie on either side of the Nevermore. And of course, I've begun my branch for the crow to sit on. There's Plum Shadow. And Wednesday, I've started that motif over there. So that's where I'm at. I am in love with it. In love. I hope you enjoyed this. I suspect I will be doing this type of Nevermore update video a number of times in the next coming weeks as I work the model up. That's it for me today, everybody. Happy spooky holidays. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I hope that you're well. I hope that you're safe. And I hope that you have lots of stitching to enjoy this weekend. Take care, everybody. And I'll see you next week. Happy stitching.